Hi there, my name is Sister Regina, and today I just want to share with you a little bit about our gospel for the first Sunday of Advent. We're looking at restoring the hope, and how has Jesus restored our hope? The gospel is taken from Matthew chapter 24. Jesus says, "For as the days of Noah were, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. For as in those days before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day Noah entered the ark, and they knew nothing until the flood came and swept them all away. So too will be the coming of the Son of Man. Then two will be in the field, one will be taken and one will be left. Two women will be grinding meal together, one will be taken and one will be left. Keep awake, therefore, for you do not know on what day your Lord is coming. But understand this, if the owner of the house had known in what part of the night the thief was coming, he would have stayed awake and would not have let his house be broken into. Therefore, you also must be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an unexpected hour." In this gospel, I was really struck by the many times that Jesus says, we don't know when he's coming. We're not going to be expecting it. It's going to come upon us like a thief. It's going to happen all of a sudden. We should be prepared, but we're never going to know when he's really coming. And he references the days of Noah. So I went back and I read the story about Noah building the ark and the flood coming in Genesis. And it's true. The Lord in those days revealed to Noah, I'm going to flood the earth. I want you to build this ark and fill it with, two of each animal that has breath in it. And you and your family go into this ark, and everyone else on the face of the earth is going to be wiped out by this flood in order to sort of have a new beginning. God is going to make a new covenant with Noah at this time. And Noah does everything that the Lord asks of him. But everyone else on the face of the earth does not know this flood is coming. And this is so unusual for us because in our day and age where we have the news and we have social media, if there's a flood coming, we know about it, and there's a warning on the news, and there's a warning that comes through on your phone or your watch. If there's a tornado, if there's a hurricane, all of these things we're warned about ahead of time so that we can be prepared. But in those days, there was no warning, there was no news flash, and there was no really way to know that was going to happen. And then that's the Old Testament, right? Then you look at the New Testament, and Jesus is constantly warning us to be watchful, to be vigilant, especially towards the end of the gospel before his passion and death. He is trying to get our attention and prepare us. He's going to come again, he's going to die. He's going to be raised from the dead. He's going to go to the Father. He's done all of that, and yet we're still waiting for his return. He's with us already now in a very special way, especially in the Eucharist, but we're not fully, right? We're waiting for the fullness of his coming and of his kingdom. And so in this way, Jesus has warned us, right? And he has brought us the gospel, the good news. So instead of hearing the bad news or all these things on TV where they're warning us about all the bad things that are happening in the world, Jesus has brought us the good news. And he's called us together. He's called an assembly of his people together to pray, to worship, and to be ready and waiting for him to come. And so in the season of Advent, when we're looking at, we're looking back, we're praying with the prophets of old who were waiting for the Messiah to come. They were longing for him with their whole being. This was the one thing they were looking for in life, the Messiah. When will he come? And they knew that he would, but they didn't know when. And so the prophets write all about this, and you can read these stories in the Old Testament of people who just were waiting for the Lord, and for the fulfillment of his promise. So in Advent, we have this blessed time of each day having these readings presented to us from the prophets, from the Old Testament. Longing for the Messiah, to cultivate within us that same longing, to help us realize what a gift has been given to us in Jesus, who everyone was waiting for thousands of years. And now he's ours. So it reminds us to be so grateful for this God who has become flesh. However, there's another coming of Jesus. There's many more comings of Jesus. He says in the gospel, right, there's going to be these two women grinding at the mill. There's going to be these two people in the field. One will be taken and one will be left. He's coming. In the midst, we're going to be doing things that are normal in our daily lives. We'll be in the midst of our everyday activities when he comes. But there's a difference between these two people. He says one will be taken and one will be left. Well, they're doing the same thing, and they look pretty much the same, and yet one is entering the kingdom of God and one is not. So for me, that says, how can I be ready? And I love these. There's two Psalms, Psalm 16 and Psalm 25. They both talk about keeping the Lord ever before me. He's always before me. He's at my right. My eyes are always toward the Lord. So having that sense of perpetual waiting, like seeing him and then waiting for him more. And we are waiting for Jesus to come again in the fullness of his kingdom, right? He says the Son of Man is going to come on the clouds with great power and majesty, and he's going to gather all of his elect and take them to the Father's house. And of course, we want to be among the ones who are chosen. We have been chosen, and we want to be faithful, and we want to be ready when he comes. So I love this season of Advent because I feel like my whole life is Advent. I am a spouse of Jesus. I'm married to him. He's my bridegroom already. And yet the consummation of our marriage is not yet completed. It will be when he comes and when we're in the kingdom of heaven. And there's a song, one of my favorite Advent songs that I just want to share with you, that is about when he comes again. He came as a baby. He comes to us in our daily lives. He comes to us in that stranger, in the sick person, in our coworker, in the person who annoys us. He comes to us in all those ways. But the verse of the song, which is called "Lo, He Comes with Clouds Descending," says, "Those dear tokens of his passion still his dazzling body bears, cause of endless exultation for his ransomed worshipers. With what rapture, with what rapture, with what rapture, gaze we on those glorious scars." So, you're so blessed that, and we're so blessed that you're in our hospitals with us, where we have a crucifix in almost every room and where we can gaze on those glorious scars. And so I think that's a wonderful reminder for us this Advent to see Jesus poor and wounded on the cross, to remember he's the one who came also in the manger, but that he's coming in glory and we will be filled with rapture. So let us be prepared together.
Still